I'm finally ready for 5D. Goodbye, 3D karma. Question your reality and then change it. Grand solar flash, is it almost here? What will the event actually be, and are you ready? It's time to enter the portal to the new earth. Choose your frequency. Drop your attachments. ThunderWizard.com is the website that supports this YouTube channel. Please go check out all of the different ways that you can subscribe and all of the enjoyable practices you can get in the shop. My books can be found at michaelwilliamdenny.com. So I am finally ready for 5D. And I am ready to let go of my 3D karma. What exactly does that mean? So if you watched the video that I put up last night and you heard the fantastical story of what was told to me by who I believe to be the Pleiadians, again, I hear myself say that. It sounds ridiculous to me. I have to tell you, still to this day, virtually 99% of everybody that says they've talked to the Pleiadians, they channel Pleiadians and Arcturians, and I don't buy any of it. I don't know if I've heard anybody that I actually believe. It doesn't mean that I don't believe in the possibility of that. I just haven't, what I hear coming out of people, I don't buy. So it's very challenging for me to hear myself say that, because that's just such a hackneyed, typical, I'm channeling the Arcturians, channeling the Pleiadians is just, it's just so tired, and like I said, I don't buy it when I hear it. So when I say it, and I'm being honest with you, that is what I believe. I was interpreting. It's very, very, very challenging to my ego. So if you watched that video, you heard what those beings told me. In brief, what I was told was that 13,000 years ago, I was in fact King of Earth during the Satya Yuga that we were experiencing, and there was a lot of higher dimensional beings interacting with Earth, and I apparently was one of them, and that I was responsible for a lot of human consciousness. My role as King of Earth was to surround and protect the Earth and to guide the consciousness of the planet. And I saw that we were about to enter into a downward spiral in the Yugas, and that we were in the midst of the most spiritual, go look up Satya Yuga, and again, look at the Sri Yukteswar understanding of the timeline of the Yugas, because the vast majority of everybody, including most Hindus, have it completely wrong. The Yugas don't last for millions upon millions of years. They last for at least 24,000 years per Yuga. And again, I've showed you that. You can look at it again here. So we are, where you see the green text there, that is where we are right now. And directly opposite that, you can see we had just entered into a descending cycle. We had hit the peak of the Satya spiritual cycle, and that now the cycle was beginning to descend. So it was going to go down backwards through all the different yugas. Satya Yuga is when you're at your highest expression of connection to spirit, and then Treta Yuga is you're like you're 3/4 connected. Dwapara is like you're halfway connected, and Kali Yuga is you're like 10%, 25% connected to spirit. So we, as you can see, we are AD 1700. We exited the ascending Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga hit its worst point at AD 500, which was right smack dab in the middle of when the beginning of the Dark Ages was hitting. This is when monotheism was destroying traditional spirituality, and people went into complete dualism, which is what Kali Yuga is. And so then we started out again, and the Kali Yuga started going up, and then we hit Dwapara Yuga in 1700, when you had the Reformation and you had the Enlightenment period, and people started coming out of that and started embracing, and enjoying polytheism and mythology again, and we started remembering all of that. And so here we are now, 2024, and so we are directly opposite the Younger Dryas period, where there was a cataclysm, and the whole world was completely wiped clean. There was what many scientists now believe is that there was a solar event like we're having now, combined with perhaps some comets or asteroids, multiple asteroids hitting the ice sheets that were 2 miles thick and vaporizing the ice sheets, and then creating, of course, floods and rains that lasted for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, completely wiping out everything, including all of the megafauna and all of that. And whatever civilizations were there were completely wiped off the face of the planet. So, anyway, as I said, I was apparently king during this time, and I don't know if I had multiple lives or if I was, anyway. The mythology is pretty clear that the people who were running the earth in those days, the Atlanteans and others, were seen as gods on earth. So I take that to mean that they were higher dimensional beings, and I think I was one of those. In any case, this is, if you've been following me, what's happening is I finally have the entire picture, and I can say I'm extremely grateful that I was not given the entire picture all at once. It probably would have killed me. I don't think I could have handled it. What was interesting is that during the 2 years ago, when these beings were showing up and telling me, you are king of earth, and etc., blah blah blah, all that really unbelievable, fantastical stuff, which broke my brain. There was one being that showed up, and I had the feeling it was a higher dimensional version of me. He was very irreverent, and he was joking with me, and called me Sparky, and he said, good luck, you're gonna need it. And he was smiling and joking around, good luck, you're gonna need it. And I got very upset, because I was already flipping out. I didn't want to hear this. I said, don't talk to me like that. That doesn't help me. What the hell do you think you're doing? How is that supposed to help me, that kind of talk? And he said, you're right. I'm sorry. I should be kinder to you. You don't deserve that. Everything's going to be fine. And, oh, by the way, good luck. You're going to need it. And he took off. And of course, I didn't like hearing that at all. But I think I understand now what that higher dimensional version of me was saying. And so forgive me if I get emotional. I'm trying not to. In fact, I'm determined to drop all of that 13,000 years of karma. I'm prepared to drop all of it. Do whatever I have to do to drop all of it. And if you remember the video, so the Pleiadians apparently were here as well. They founded Atlantis or a part of Atlantis, and I'm not really clear if they were kings of Atlantis or if I was king and they were advising me, or if, I can't tell what part of me was physical, and it's just all. It's a very hard thing to untangle, because I'm now aware that I am a multi-dimensional being. And so I'm connected to higher dimensional aspects of myself, and it was probably true back then. There was probably a physical version of me as well as these higher dimensional versions. And so when higher dimensional beings, talk about this, they're usually talking about multiple aspects of yourself. So in any case, I was working with them, and they were teaching me and us all kinds of spiritual technologies that we created all kinds of technologies like the pyramids, which were an energy generator to keep the world in a higher spiritual frequency. That was what I believe that's what the pyramids were designed to do. And the Pleiadians that were there were advising me, and they were saying, don't use this technology to interfere with the descending Yuga cycle that's coming. And I apparently didn't agree with them, and I said, no, it's my responsibility. I have to keep everybody safe, and I'm not going to let them lose their awareness. And so the tension that created as the Yugas started to descend, it got to a point where the energy snapped like a rubber band, and Earth came crashing down very abruptly and very violently. And apparently that's what happened. And now I understand 2+ years ago, when the first being came and told me all this stuff, the being said, I have something to tell you, and it's going to be hard for you to hear. And I had already been told that I was king of Earth, or was going to be king of Earth, or something like that. And I had no idea what, didn't even dawn on me there was a karma associated with this. And as I've been teaching people for a very long time, people take it as a badge of honor if they're a healer. And my response is, oh, so you damaged people in previous lives, because that's how you balance that out. So all of the people that come to you for healing are people that you tortured and killed or something like that. You damaged them. So this time around, you got to fix it. That's why if you've got healing powers and you have the ability to use your mind to heal people, well, that means in a previous life you damaged a lot of people. That's how it balances out. And the universe is very kind, because it gives you this experience of what a great healer I am. I'm such a great healer. Because if you knew that the reason why you were healing millions of people is because you killed millions of people in a previous life, that would be more than you could tolerate. So the universe is very kind. It always gives you a carrot, doesn't give you the stick. So when I was told this king thing, of course, it didn't dawn on me. I mean, I was thinking about the responsibility and why me? What the hell? Why do I deserve this? So this being said, this is again a couple of years ago, this being said, we have something to tell you. It's going to be hard for you to hear. You are king because you were king of Earth a very long time ago, and they didn't tell me specifically, but you set up the dynamics for the dark forces that are running the world now. And so by being king in 5D, you will balance that. This is a karmic balancing. So I logged that in there, and I've known that, didn't know what it was, but I have some idea, I believe, of what it was. I'd like to believe, looking back on it, that my actions were done out of a desire to help, which doesn't excuse the pride and the codependence and the grandiosity and the stubbornness that I obviously must have been continuously acting on, because it was a long period of time. Apparently I was able to keep Kali Yuga from coming in for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until the energy finally snapped and everything, went haywire. And apparently I've been punishing myself for thousands of years in various lifetimes. So I can only assume that I'm done, that I've paid off my karma. I was told a while back that my work on this planet has come to an end. It has to be my karmic work. And then most recently I was told your time on this planet has come to an end. So that only happens if you've worked through it, and I must have paid it off, and I'm going to assume that I have. And now I get to go into the fun part. And I'm really looking forward to do what I was trying to do last time, but this time I get to do it in the opposite cycle. We're going up. So and I've really, when they came to me a while back, and they do this a lot, and they say, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I talk about what I would do, and they say, so just imagine that you are this king and you can do anything you want. You have complete control. You're God. What would you do? And my first thought was, how I could awaken people to their true spiritual nature. And the more I thought about that, if I had complete, total power, like omnipotence, I realized that I have to let people have their own awakening. That they have to find it themselves, because if I were to do it, if I were like Jesus to save people, which is why I really dislike Christianity. But if I were to do something like that, it wouldn't be real, and they wouldn't appreciate it, they wouldn't know it, and it would backfire on them. And so I realized I can't do it for anybody else. So what I would do is I would create an environment where people were free to have their own experiences and make their own choices, which is why it's easier for me to accept the possibility that there are going to be 3 different levels of Earth, and there are people that won't make it because they won't choose. And it's not because they're bad or they're evil. Literally every single person on this planet could choose to go to the highest level of awareness if they wanted. But many will choose not to because they're not ready, and they're not done experimenting, and they're not done, who knows, whatever it is. And so I have to honor their power to make their own choices. And so after thinking about it, this being was asking me, I said, I would create a scenario where everybody could, without distractions, really be able to focus on what they wanted and choose what they wanted. And the being said, that's it. That's why we chose you. You passed the test. That's how it has to be. And of course, now in hindsight, I'm realizing that is not the decision I made 13,000 years ago. I made the decision I was going to do it for them. And I caused far more damage than I could have even begun to imagine. And then I get beyond that, and I realize that level is just a video game also. And that's the video game for, the 5th, 6th, 7th dimensional aspect of myself. And then there are higher dimensional aspects of myself that said, no, we planned this out, because how can people grow if they don't have challenges? And you were the guy who had enough love for people that you helped facilitate a really challenging world for souls to come in. So, if I go higher and higher and higher, there's a lot less guilt associated with it. Anyway, I could go on about higher dimensional stuff, but this message came to me yesterday, and so of course, as any three-dimensional person, I think sane three-dimensional person would do, of course I doubted it. Of course my mind made that up. This is a really grandiose fantasy, and I started, going down that because that's the only possible explanation. None of this can be real. However, I woke up this morning and I was deeply saddened. I mean, the level of sadness was so deep, and it wasn't conscious. It was much deeper than that. And I realized there's no way I could be at this level of sadness if I had just fantasized some egotistical, grandiose, totally unrealistic, nonsensical thing. The level of, how deeply that it affected me, and it wasn't even conscious. It's hard for me not to accept that those feelings are real. So that leads me to believe that, something about this is real. Of course, I'm okay if it's not. This could just be a very elaborate way for me to work through my own 3D issues and guilt and karma. I honestly don't know, and I truly don't care. I'm going to choose to believe it because what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is I'll find out it turns out it wasn't that big of a deal. Best case scenario is that we are headed into a new 5D world, and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal and unbelievable and amazing, and I get to look forward to who knows how many decades, years, millennia of meditating and creating a safe space for souls to come and experience the opposite. Great healing and awakening and joy and bliss, and nothing would make me happier than to do exactly that. So we'll see. So anyway, that's why I chose this picture, because that looks pretty good. If I get to 5D and my Shakti is waiting for me there, I can wear some flowers and think pretty thoughts and create rainbows. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, that's it. And again, I'm just staying real with you guys, and I'm not hiding anything, and I'm being as transparent as I can be. And I have no need for any of this to be true. I don't need for it not to be true. And I'm ready for whatever comes. It feels like we're about to shift up to a new reality. The energies keep telling me that. So I'm gonna prepare myself for that possibility while I continue to live out my 3D world. There's a huge hurricane headed towards me. It doesn't look like it's going to hit me directly. I might not have to evacuate, but pretty nasty hurricane heading my way over the next few days. So if the YouTube channel goes dark, it's because I'm in a hotel somewhere riding out a hurricane. I hope that's not the case. It looks like it'll pass by me and just bring a lot of wind and a lot of rain, but nothing too nasty. Anyway, that's it for this video, my friends. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being part of this, doing these live guided meditations. I really do understand now that this is why I've been called to do these things, because this is me balancing the energies. This is me. I get to do that. So if you're doing this, then you are doing this task with me, and you are helping me. So Anyway, I hope you find your karma and you're able to release that and let it go and move on to the next version. And that's it. All right, my friends, I love you all. Please take very good care of yourselves. And I will, of course, see you all very soon.